Hey, good morning. Got a little bit of break in the weather here, just enough time, I think, for me to show off. Okay, I'll show you what I've done. Let's have a look at it. Well, I've got hours scrubbing on these ways and other bright spots, and I'm wiping it down with kerosene, and look, the sun's coming out on it actually. But, the skies are pretty threatening, so I got to be ready to toss the tarp back on here. But anyway, the over here's kind of nice too. I got these areas cleaned up here. They get really bad, and you wouldn't even know that was machined and nice behind there. It's even got neutral stamped in there before you could even see that. But so I've just gone along and I'm working that stains out, and I scrubbed it with the this mix with the acetone and the water on top of that can. And I want to emphasize that it's not something you want to breathe. And when you're taking and scrubbing, like this, look at this pallet jack here, how much oil I got on it scrubbing it. I don't you see on that handle. Look, there's Chloe down there. You got a mouse in there, Chloe? She was down there last night. There's something in there. She's very persistent. So it's looking brighter, and the cloudy look to it in some of these areas. I don't know if you look back at some of the early videos, this was almost black, this part here where the carriage doesn't travel at all. And all of this is working out quite nicely. Yeah. Okay, now here's the chuck that I've been dinking around with. This is that import mount that is what you would find if you were searching on the internet to mount a 8-inch 4-jaw to a D16. And they want like over $100 for this mount, and it's the same mount that comes with that little collet chuck. That's a copy of ancient Cushman. Bison made them and stuff too. So anyway, one of the things I want to show you here is that the standoff I have here, it's quite a bit. I can actually shorten this 1/2 inch more, but I'm not going to. Now remember when I talked about the ways here, how the carriage, it's on the worn part of the ways here. And these V-ways are so large on ways like that, the little bit of drop you get is not as much problem as you think. The problem is getting close to where it's not worn and the carriage climbs up on it. So to combat that, when you're using old worn out machines, is you gotta extend the tool towards the chuck, and it's helpful to extend the chuck towards the tool within reason. You see what I'm saying? So with this chuck, it right up to the jaws with that tool, with the KDK holder and the way they are and stuff like that. Look how far back it is from that worn area. And I discovered the worn area starts right about in here. I mean the unworn area. And that's where the carriage starts climbing up, and it just really causes some taper problems. So that is a solution. And this is the same solution I use on my really worn Monarch 10EE. Everything's really just peachy when you're on the worn spot. But it's when you get on the unworn spots that it really starts tilting things. And I thought I would point that out. And on your lathe, your old lathe, you know, not everybody buys new lathes. And if you're having some problems, you know, kind of keep that in mind, and maybe try keeping the carriage back a little bit by sliding your tool post over. That works most of the time. So this chuck here is small for this size lathe. And what I'm going to use it for is holding the best tolerances I possibly can on this machine. That, you know, on reasonable parts. So this is going to be an important chuck for me on this lathe. I'm trying to think of the time I have just scrubbing with that acetone, and there it is here. Automatic transmission fluid, acetone, and a brass brush. Somehow those three combinations of brass, the automatic transmission fluid, and the acetone somehow creates a chemical reaction, and it helps with the metal being warm. That's why I like to let the sun shine on this thing and warm it up. Okay, I got the worst of it off. I've scrubbed just about everything. And, oh, I got a drop of water on there from that can. So next, all that's got to happen is just take a rag with kerosene and wipe the machine down all the time. I wipe my machines down before I move anything. In the shop there, my little garage, see, I have that cutter grinder right next to the jig board, and that contaminates the whole shop. So any machine in there, before I move anything, I wipe the ways down with the rag and kerosene. I don't know. Maybe you can find something else. Kerosene kind of stinks, I guess. It smells like perfume to me. But this machine, talk about odor and stuff, was the worst I've ever come across. It was really, really bad. The sump was full of a mix of straight cutting oil. They didn't use water soluble. It was straight light thread cutting oil that had been in there for 30 years. They never drained it. They just added to it. And then they used a bunch of tapping fluid. And all of that, you know, ended up all over this and caused these stains. Is from the tapping fluid. The machine is not rusted like the milling machine and the drill press there. This is just chemically stained. So it's really a blessing to have this outside, because like I say, using that acetone and the brass brush, it mist it. It'll put a mist in the air when you're scrubbing. So I think it's best to do this outside, or have good fans going, because you know, if you can smell it, it's not good. Okay, I just want to say good morning, and thanks for everybody that likes this old stuff. It is motivating. I'm motivated. But I tell you what, I have a lot to do. I have to clean these machines up and get them inside. And that's quite a bit to do. And the clock is ticking. It's not a big deal. I'll get it done. If something happens, I get sick or something like that, I'll wrap these things up good and put it off. But I'm feeling good, and I'm going to keep going. So, I hope you all feel good, and you all keep going. Okay, I'm going to load this video, and pretty much all I got to do is just turn on the camera, you know, because I've got this. It's a job. It really is. So, but it's a good job, and it'll keep me busy for at least 10 years, you know, using this stuff. So, okay. You guys have fun, and I'll be back.